Positive outlook is really about kind of cultivating positive views about things. What it's not, and often what people think, is that you have to ignore the negative. And that's not true at all. People with a positive outlook tend to embrace the negative and kind of handle and deal with their emotions. They don't ignore it by any means. I mean, if you've ever tried to tell yourself to oh, you should feel better. Why do you feel like this? Feel more positive. You'll realize that it's pretty futile and impossible, right? So it's not about ignoring the negative, but people think that. They think oh, you have to be happy and in la la land. It's no, that's not what it is, right? You have to embrace the negative. But it means that you can still see how some good has occurred. The people that focus kind of more in the negative, they really can't see the solution space, because then their mind is so focused on the negative moment that they're not seeing the possibilities. So you might be giving them recommendations, but everything's a no. They have a reason why nothing can possibly happen, right? It's well, I can't do that because no, but, there's always some no involved because they're not seeing a way out of the moment. And so you'll see them exhibit those behaviors. When you talk to them, you might know it. You might be one of them yourself also. And you can identify that by the language that you're using, right? That people might try and help you and you're well, I can't do that because. And it's just this immediate reaction to why you can't do anything. What can happen is they can give that moment, that negative moment, much more permanence than it actually has. Which means they're stuck in this moment and they're giving it so much more importance in their life than it is really needed to. So then you have that knock-on effect, the repercussions of that, right? Because you're not seeing past it and then you're stuck. And that's incredibly draining, not just for you, but for everyone else around you, because energy is so contagious. Having a positive outlook really is important to moving yourself into a more productive and positive space when something happens to you. Understanding why you feel negatively and then looking at what you could do brings you into a more positive space, and your mind widens at that point and you start seeing more solutions, more opportunities, and you start feeling better. The people that have higher levels of positive outlook, their language is more around, how am I in a better position now because of this? What have I learnt? What can I bring forward? They also practice gratitude, and that's very different to saying you're grateful. If you ask anyone, are you grateful for what you have in your life? The automatic answer is yes. The people with higher levels of positive outlook actually practice gratitude. They spend time being grateful and understanding what that means to them. And that's a tool that really helps them in negative moments, because their mind automatically goes to a place of, why are they grateful that that moment happened, even though it was negative? So they're automatically in the place of looking at, what did I learn from it? How did that moment make me who I am today? If you have a high level of positive output, you have a more positive energy about you. And that impacts your relationships, right? Do we want to hang around with people that are negative Nancys and always draining us? Not really, right? So it's you feel more positive, but you're more positive for others. So you'll draw more positivity towards you. Again, you can learn this behavior, right? You don't have to be stuck in the moment. One thing you can do is learn to practice gratitude. And so that's just once a week, or you could do it every day if you want to, is just really reflecting on, and it just takes a couple of minutes. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for? What have I been grateful for this week? But the key is to be, again, very specific. Not just to say, oh, I'm grateful for my partner, or I'm grateful for my colleague at work, or I'm grateful for, whatever it is. Don't just say what you're grateful for, really identify why. Why are you so grateful for it? What impact is that having in your life? Because then you'll start drawing more positive associations. And then if you want to push it a little further, you can go tell someone why you're so grateful for them, because then it's like a double whammy of positivity.